Your kids could get free or low-cost health coverage from Medicaid or CHIP. Even if you've applied before, they may be eligible now. Kids up to age 19 are covered for checkups, vaccines, dentist visits, hospital care, and more. And if they already have Medicaid or CHIP, remember to renew every year. Visit insurekidsnow.gov or call 877-KIDS-NOW. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Welcome to our deep dive into Veterans Day. It's a day we all have marked on our calendars, but I think it's easy to just see it as a day off.
Yeah.
Today we're going beyond the parades and sales to really understand the significance of Veterans Day.
Right.
We've got some fascinating excerpts from an article titled Veterans Day, Honoring Those Who Served.
Okay.
And I think you'll be surprised by some of the things we uncover.
I think you're right. There's a lot more to this day than meets the eye. It's a chance to delve into its rich history and really grasp why it holds such a profound meaning for so many.
Exactly. For instance, did you know that Veterans Day wasn't always called Veterans Day? There's actually a whole evolution behind the name.
Oh, wow.
And it speaks volumes about how we as a nation view and honor those who have served.
It's a fascinating journey, and it all begins with World War I. The armistice that ended the war went into effect on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month in 1918.
Wow.
And so Armistice Day was born.
It's almost poetic, isn't it? That very specific date and time, marking the end of what was supposed to be the war to end all wars.
Right.
Sadly, history had other plans.
You're right, and that makes the evolution of this day even more significant.
Yeah.
At first, Armistice Day was solely dedicated to honoring those who served in World War I.
So how did it transition to encompass veterans of all conflicts? What prompted that shift?
Well, after World War II and the Korean War, there was a growing sentiment that recognizing the service of all veterans, regardless of which conflict they fought in, was essential.
Yeah.
In 1954, President Eisenhower signed a bill that officially changed Armistice Day to Veterans Day, broadening the scope to include all branches of the military and all conflicts.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing the sacrifices made by everyone who served, regardless of the specific war or battle.
Yeah.
It speaks to a more inclusive idea of service and sacrifice.
Exactly. It acknowledges that the commitment to serve one's country transcends any single conflict. And it also underscores the idea that the challenges veterans face upon returning home often transcend those specific conflicts as well.
That's a really good point. It seems natural to think about the celebrations and parades first.
Yeah.
But there's a whole other side to Veterans Day that we need to explore.
You're absolutely right. We often focus on the visible aspects of honoring veterans, but the article we have here really delves into some of the less visible challenges many veterans face when they transition back to civilian life.
Okay, let's unpack that a bit. What are some of the specific challenges that the article highlights?
Well, one of the most significant challenges is the impact on mental health. The article cites a study that found that nearly 1 in 3 veterans experience some form of mental health issue after returning from service.
1 in 3.
Yeah.
That's a staggering statistic.
Yeah.
What are some of the most common mental health challenges veterans face?
Post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, is perhaps the most well-known. It's a condition triggered by exposure to traumatic events, and it can manifest in a variety of ways, including flashbacks, nightmares, anxiety, and difficulty sleeping.
I can only imagine how difficult it must be to cope with those kinds of symptoms after returning to civilian life where things might seem relatively peaceful on the surface.
Exactly, and that contrast can be jarring. In addition to PTSD, many veterans also struggle with depression, anxiety, and even substance abuse as they try to cope with the transition.
It's heartbreaking to think about. But what I'm curious about is what contributes to these mental health challenges? Is it solely the trauma of combat? Or are there other factors at play?
That's a really insightful question, and the article touches on that complexity. While combat trauma is certainly a major factor, there are other aspects of military life that can also contribute to mental health issues.
I'm all ears. What else might be at play here?
Well, think about the intense structure and discipline of military life. Soldiers are constantly operating in high-pressure environments with strict hierarchies and a clear sense of purpose.
Right.
Then they return to civilian life where things are often much more fluid and less structured. That adjustment can be incredibly difficult for some veterans.
I hadn't really thought about it that way, but it makes perfect sense. It's almost like going from one world to another with very different rules and expectations.
Precisely. And on top of that, many veterans also face challenges finding meaningful employment after their service. The skills they've honed in the military don't always translate directly to civilian jobs, and some employers may not fully understand or appreciate the value of their experience.
That's a real shame. You'd think those skills, leadership, discipline, teamwork, would be highly sought after in any workplace. But the article also mentioned challenges with reintegrating into family life, right?
Yes, that's another crucial aspect.
Yeah.
Being deployed for months or even years at a time can put a strain on relationships. Veterans may have missed out on key family milestones, and their loved ones may have difficulty understanding what they've been through.
So it's not just about finding a job or dealing with the psychological impact. It's also about rebuilding and strengthening those personal connections.
You've hit the nail on the head. Reintegration is a multifaceted process, and it's important to acknowledge all those layers.
It sounds like the transition back to civilian life can be incredibly challenging on so many levels.
Yeah.
But I'm also curious about what kinds of support systems are in place to help veterans navigate these challenges. The article mentioned the VA, for instance.
Yeah.
What exactly does the VA offer?
The Department of Veterans Affairs, or the VA, plays a crucial role in providing support to veterans.
Right.
They offer a wide range of services from healthcare and mental health counseling to job training and educational benefits.
So it's a pretty comprehensive resource for veterans.
Yeah.
What about mental health specifically? What kinds of services does the VA provide in that area?
The VA has been expanding its mental health services in recent years, recognizing the growing need. They offer individual and group therapy, medication management, and specialized programs for conditions like PTSD and substance abuse.
That's encouraging to hear. But is there anything else beyond the VA? I imagine navigating a large government organization can be daunting, especially when you're already dealing with so much.
You're right, and that's where nonprofit organizations often step in. Groups like the Wounded Warrior Project and Disabled American Veterans provide a more personalized approach, offering peer support, financial assistance, and even recreational activities designed to foster camaraderie and healing.
It sounds like there's a whole network of support out there, which is fantastic. But it also makes me wonder, what can everyday citizens like myself do to support veterans in our communities? Is it enough to just say thank you on Veterans Day?
While expressing gratitude is important, it's just the first step. True support goes beyond words. It's about taking action. Volunteering your time at a local veterans organization, donating to charities that support veterans, even just striking up a conversation with a veteran in your neighborhood. These are all tangible ways to make a difference.
I love that idea of just starting a conversation. Sometimes simply listening can be the most powerful form of support. It shows that you care and that you're willing to learn from their experiences.
Exactly. Veterans have so much to offer, not just in terms of their service to our country, but also in terms of their unique perspectives and resilience.
Yeah.
By engaging with veterans in our communities, we can learn from them, support them, and create a more welcoming and inclusive society.
Now, while we're on the topic of honoring the military, I have a confession to make. I sometimes get Veterans Day and Memorial Day confused. It feels like they both revolve around recognizing the sacrifices of the military. So what exactly is the difference?
That's a common question, and it's an important distinction to make.
Yeah.
While both holidays honor those who have served, Memorial Day specifically remembers those who died in service to our country. It's a day of solemn reflection, marked by visits to cemeteries and memorials.
So it's more about honoring the memory of those who are no longer with us, who gave their lives for our freedom.
Exactly. Veterans Day, on the other hand, is about celebrating the service of all veterans, both living and deceased. It's a day to express gratitude for their sacrifices and to acknowledge the impact they've had on our lives.
Okay, that clarifies things a bit. So Memorial Day is focused on remembrance, while Veterans Day is about celebration and gratitude for all who have served.
That's a great way to put it. And as we wrap up our deep dive into Veterans Day, I think it's important to emphasize that this day is just one small piece of the puzzle.
What do you mean by that?
Well, it's fantastic that we set aside a day to honor our veterans, but their needs and the challenges they face don't disappear on November 12th.
That's true.
Supporting our veterans requires a year-round commitment.
Right.
It's about advocating for better health care, ensuring access to mental health services, and creating opportunities for veterans to thrive in civilian life.
I completely agree. And speaking of thriving in civilian life, the article mentioned that veterans bring a unique set of skills to the workforce.
Absolutely. Their experiences in the military instill in them qualities like leadership discipline, teamwork, and problem-solving abilities that are invaluable in any profession.
It makes you wonder, though, are there any unexpected places or professions where these skills might be particularly valuable, like areas we might not typically associate with military experience?
That's an interesting question to ponder. I think we often have preconceived notions about where veterans might excel, but their adaptability and resilience could make them incredibly successful in a wide range of fields.
Absolutely. So to our listeners out there, I encourage you to think about that. What unexpected places or professions could benefit from the unique skills and perspectives of our veterans? Maybe it's in education, healthcare technology, the arts, who knows? The possibilities are endless. And remember, Veterans Day is a great time to reflect on the sacrifices of those who have served. But it's also a call to action. Let's make sure our support for veterans extends far beyond just one day a year. Whether it's through volunteering, donating, or simply showing your appreciation, let's make a commitment to honor and support our veterans every single day.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Thanks for joining me for this deep dive into Veterans Day. It's been an enlightening conversation. And to all our veterans out there, thank you for your service.
Well, it's fantastic that we set aside a day to honor our veterans. But their needs and the challenges they face don't disappear on November 12th.
That's true.
Supporting our veterans requires a year-round commitment.
Right.
It's about advocating for better health care, ensuring access to mental health services, and creating opportunities for veterans to thrive in civilian life.
I completely agree. And speaking of thriving in civilian life, the article mentioned that veterans bring a unique set of skills to the workforce.
Absolutely. Their experiences in the military instill in them qualities like leadership discipline, teamwork, and problem-solving abilities that are invaluable in any profession.
It makes you wonder, though, are there any unexpected places or professions where these skills might be particularly valuable? Like areas we might not typically associate with military experience?
That's an interesting question to ponder. I think we often have preconceived notions about where veterans might excel, but their adaptability and resilience could make them incredibly successful in a wide range of fields.
Absolutely. So to our listeners out there, I encourage you to think about that. What unexpected places or professions could benefit from the unique skills and perspectives of our veterans? Maybe it's in education, healthcare technology, the arts. Who knows? The possibilities are endless. And remember, Veterans Day is a great time to reflect on the sacrifices of those who have served, but it's also a call to action. Let's make sure our support for veterans extends far beyond just one day a year. Whether it's through volunteering, donating, or simply showing your appreciation, let's make a commitment to honor and support our veterans every single day.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Thanks for joining me for this deep dive into Veterans Day. It's been an enlightening conversation. And to all our veterans out there, thank you for your service.
Today is your lucky day. Today is the day that our $3 website works for you, paying you directly to your PayPal daily. Imagine $3 ongoing continuous payments to your PayPal account. Imagine falling asleep and waking up to $300 in your PayPal account. How would this make you feel? How could this help you? What bills could you pay? What kind of fun could you have? What does that retirement look like now? All for a one-time payment of $3. This website is DFY done for you, fully built and completely hosted, and never stops collecting payments for you. You have spent $3 on coffee on a regular, but that coffee won't help you create multiple streams of income. Click the link below.